Ito na, Sir Ronald Llamas, sa previous episode, me being so fair and good, I was saying anong pwedeng gawin ng opposition to
What,
make
what?
post. But
What,
ikaw,
what?
Ronald,
What were you? What were you?
I was helpful, I was constructive, I was humble, I was
Uh,
heartfelt, not unhinged, not at all, not at all.
uh, can
Ito,
I be the devil's advocate this time?
hindi pwede. Level ka lang, wala na advocate. Sir Ronald,
uh,
um,
uh,
ito daw, medyo hinabol lang natin dun sa RM natin nung isang araw. Let's talk about this. Davao politics. I really like your point kasi yung argument mo of which is actually Davao has come this far. Actually, I've been also in spite of the Dutertes. And if anything, if wala yung mga Dutertes, lalong gaganda pang Davao. Kasi the
yes,
problem is right now,
yes.
anything you say about Duterte, immediately it's weaponized in tribalistic terms by the Duterte camp to say, oh, this is an attack on Davaoenos, etc. But actually not. Our point is Davao is so great, they don't need Dutertes. And I'm not sure they ever needed Duterte's, right? Actually, ito yung maganda sa'yo. Sabi mo, even if we were to take the argument at some point ala Nicaragua civil war mode on Davao, you didn't need a Duterte type to solve that problem, right? You had a more effective way of dealing with that. Can you tell us a little bit that history? You know better than me, way more than me on that, on the Mindanao Davao history. Kasi ito yung argument nila, no, we needed someone like Duterte. Sabi ko, oh, maybe 30 years ago, but not now. But your point is, actually, even 30 years ago, you didn't need a Digong to make that Nicaragua into more of a
Yeah,
Singapore. I mean, to be
yeah.
metaphorical about it.
Well, karamihan ng mga namatay sa Davao, no? Sabi nga ni Father, sino yung father na binanggit ko last time? No? Si Paracale.
Exactly. Yun nga eh. I
uh,
didn't know that part eh. Thank you.
yeah. Yung almost 2,000 na namatay EJK sa Davao nung city ko ngayon mayor. These are petty criminals, no? These are petty criminals. Ang major crime ay yung pagpatay sa kanila. No, ito yung mga pickpockets, no? Ito yung mga nagnanakaw ng cellphone, no? Yung ganyan. And most of them are young people. Most of them are young
Yeah,
people. Hindi
minors.
ito mga these are minors, no? So, ang yung crime na mas malaki ay yung pagpatay sa kanila, no? Homicide, murder, no, etc. 'Di ba? Yun yung kaya sinasabi ko na hindi kailangan. Ikalawa, halimbawa, pulong. He got more than 52 billion for one small district, no? What has he to show for? No? Ibig sabihin, even with one-fourth of that, ang laki na magiging impact nun, ha? Kung ginamit mo. Nasaan 'yon? No, nasaan 'yon, no? Ibig sabihin, with the resources available, ang laki na sana na nagawa mo, no? Ang laki na nagawa mo. And that's just one district. Ah, 'Yan yung kwan. Ikatlo, ngayon, para kang Vilma Santos. Yung lahat pinatakbo mo, pati apo mo. Halimbawa, yung tatakbo for Congress, yung Omar, apo yan eh. No? Apo yan ni Digong. Tatakbo sa one dis. So, ibig sabihin, no? Talagang katulad ng mga iba, na mga dynasties at warlords, pinush mo sa limit. No?
Obese dynasty na to.
Oo.
Obese na to.
Sobrang, sabihin, grabe, even for a place like Davao, na meron namang element ng modernity. No? May
May
element
middle
naman ng
class,
modernity,
big
no? Oh, may
educated
middle class,
class. Yeah.
no? No? Ibig sabihin, a lot of things could have been done better. No? Yun yung sinasabi lang natin.
O na ang mga
Uh,
Duterte ay talaga sagabal dun sa full realization of Davao's immense potential. Kaya sabi ko, the
Not
credit.
only now and in the future, but also in the past. Yung mythology na that without them hindi nag-develop yung Davao. Hindi totoo. Mayaman ang Davao eh. No, meron siyang port, meron siyang agricultural area, 'di ba? Meron siyang an intelligent, skilled middle class, no? Maraming mga plantations, maraming trade unions, etc. Very robust ang civil society. Kumpara sa ibang provinces, no? Kumpara sa ibang provinces, no? Ang daming mga civil society leaders na nanggaling ng Davao. Ibig sabihin, in the past, it might have been much better, no? Without them. Ibang usapin pa ngayon at saka bukas in the
Kaya nga
future.
sabi ko,
Lalo
Ronald,
na.
in spite of the Dutertes, we'll go again to
Yeah.
the Nograles and the race very shortly. But I want to also add another thing. Ako kasi galing ako sa Baguio, so meron din kaming dynamic with taga Manila. So every time I go to John Hay or whatever, I speak Ilocano immediately to the guards, and then they say in Ilocano, these Manila people ang yabang-yabang. Kasi syempre yung plate number ko, Manila, di ba? So I can see na
Mm.
nakaganyan yung guards, and then I speak Ilocano to them, ganun. And then they kind of get, I'm from the region. And then immediately they soften up. So even kami mga taga Baguio na ang lapit sa Manila, there's this dynamic, Manila, kupal, ganyan. So my understanding is probably, I mean, way worse when it comes to Davaoenyo feeling alienated, from Imperial Manila. And we know, but
Ako,
objectively, Manila
yeah.
was, objectively, Mindanao has really been neglected naman talaga. So, how do we make sure yung grievance na yan ay hindi ma-weaponize ng mga Dutertes, that we can push, I mean, not be patronizing, but in a good, constructive, brotherly way, in a
Yeah.
progressive way, how can we
Yeah.
tell our Davao friends, you can do better
Well,
than Duterte.
totoo.
You
Yeah.
are better than Dutertes.
Totoo naman talaga may historical crime sa Mindanao, especially with our Muslim brothers. Totoo naman 'yon, no? At kulang pa yung compensation to that for that crime, 'di ba? Pero ang tingin ko with my experience in Mindanao and in Davao, dahil nag-organize ako eh. General Santos, Sarangani, South Cotabato, Basilan. I lived in Basilan. I organized in Sulu, Maguindanao, no? Etc. No? Totoo yan, no? Pero less sa Davao. Because Davao is an urban center. Malaking bahagi ng industry ng Davao ay hindi naman nanggaling sa mga investors from Imperial Manila. Nanggaling mismo sa Davao eh. Sila yung sentro eh. Yung bread basket ng Mindanao ay Southern Mindanao, na bahagi ang Davao. Na bahagi ang Davao. So ibig sabihin, sila yung mas prosperous. Yes, napabayaan lalo na sa infrastructure, pero kumpara sa ibang regions ng Mindanao, mas well off ang Davao. No? Kaya ibig sabihin, mas less yung kanilang reklamo. Mas less yung kanilang reklamo. Definitely, mas malaki sana yung nangyari sa Davao kung at tumulong talaga yung Imperial Manila. Ang sinasabi ko lang ay ibahin mo yung buong Mindanao sa Davao. No, it's not the same banana, no? Magkaiba yan.
So
At
ibahin ang Davao sa Duterte's, but ibahin mo sa, kasi the
yes.
reason I also ask this is when I
Oo.
talk to Mindanaoans from other areas, daming nainis
Mm.
kay Digong when he said, oh, mag-separate ng Mindanao, ganun. Parang as if you speak for all of us forever. Oh, yeah, sure, you were the first president from Mindanao, ganun.
Kaya
Yes, sikat ka. But kung
kaya kaya
wala kang
kahit
karapatan to speak in behalf of all of us, especially kung hindi ka naman
yes,
kasama sa Bangsamoro and all of those other struggles.
as na, na, ah, ay nung sinabi nila na magsesisid ang Mindanao, walang nakuhang suporta. Ibig sabihin, discriminating pa rin naman yung mga tiga Mindanao. Hindi naman ito mga blind followers. Yung siguro, yung kanilang approval rating, pag tinatanong sila sa survey, ay para sa affirmative action. Because the Duterte are the only Mindanaoan na naging presidente or naging vice president. No? So, mas ganun eh, mas affirmative action. Pero, kung sila ay gagawing ibubudol na hiwalay na tayo sa Pilipinas, walang nakuhang suporta. 'Di ba? So hindi ko lalagyan ng masyadong laman yung approval rating ng mga Duterte na malakas pa rin sa Mindanao. Dahil kung babaguhin nila yung kanilang posisyon like secession, wala silang makukuhang suporta at wala silang nakuhang suporta. Ibig sabihin, Mindanaoans are more intelligent than that.
That also there are probably people in Mindanao who also feel there's an imperial Davao, right? Or at least the
Yeah,
Duterte's try to
yes.
speak like they're the emperor of Mindanao, which I think was very
Or
presumptuous.
mga Kristiyano, 'di ba? Mga rich Christians, 'di ba? 'Yun yung halimbawa nung 2010, no? Sino nanalo sa Mindanao? Si Erap. Nakakalabas lang, kakalabas preso, 'di ba? Tingnan man nila 'yon. Tingnan man nila yung factors. No?
Ronald,
Dominant
ba't
aspect.
naging ganyan na naman yung Starlink mo? Wala na naman link yung star mo.
Oo nga eh.
Tag na
Hindi ko
natin
alam eh.
si Elon Musk.
Oo.
Sige, pag-usapan natin, bash na natin si Elon
Ah,
Musk. No, I really
talaga.
enjoyed this episode. I think this episode is very important because acknowledge po natin na talagang na pinabayaan ng Mindanao. Na-acknowledge din natin na Davao is a great place and Davao can do so much better without the Dutertes. But last point here, are the Nograles necessarily going to be the bridge to a new, more prosperous Davao in the future? Kasi sabi niya, oh, Richard, trapo din naman mga Nograles. Bakit ka ganyan magsalita? As if,
Exactly. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I dream of a time when itong mga robust, rich civil society sa Mindanao, sila yung papalit. Because, alimbawa, the Nograles are also part of the government of Duterte. Alter ego niya si Carlo Nograles, yung makakalaban niya ngayon, di ba? So, hindi automatic na nakikita ko they are the solution, no? Tingin ko maraming mga rent-seeking elements, recidivist elements sa Mindanao, no, na dapat ay isuka ng mga Mindanaoans, no? Kahit sila ngayon ang dominant political leadership, kahit sila ngayon ang dominant warlords at saka dynasties. I dream of a time na ire-reject din sila. Ang sinasabi lang natin ngayon, at this point, no, ay yung mga Duterte ay negatibo para sa Mindanao. At ito yung sinabi ng mga MILF. Bakit kami magsesesid? Ang tagal-tagal namin lumalaban, tapos ngayon nyo pa kami ipagsesesid. Ngayon lang kami nakakatikim ng konting grasya. Of the problems that is related with the Imperial Manila, may mga bright spots naman. No? At ang tingin pa nila sa kanilang mga sarili ay mga Pilipino. No?
exactly. So parang, this is where you can see na sometimes, parang Trump din tong mga to, but they really care about themselves. It's not sure they really care about it because
Yeah.
whenever
Yeah.
whatever is convenient for them, they'll pull out that argument. Because if they really cared for Mindanao and all, they wouldn't just so nonchalantly say, "Oh, we're just gonna secede," as if, and with obviously with no consultation whatsoever with the rest. So Karen talaga sila. They're the Karen of Philippines.
Yes.
Let's go to the last
Yes.
episode. Very quick lang. Let's talk about the biggest Karen of all Karens, Donald Trump. 2 weeks na lang, Sir Ronald. Excited ka na ba for US elections?